Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Actual. So today's topic would be answering the questions that I've asked in a previous week related to the commonly asked questions that can be asked in an interview for life and general insurance. So without any delay, let's start with the answers. So in this video, I thought that since there are multiple questions that I've asked, and this is like there are a number of questions, and the questions are kind of distributed as per the actual intellectual syllabus. So I thought that I'll make two videos on this for the answers. So one video would be for answering all the life portion or the insurance portion of this question. Another video would be on the asset side, right? And there is a few on the spot type thinking type of question. I think there are three questions. I think I'll make a separate video for that. So I think I'll create three videos. Today's video would be related to the insurance part, right? So the first question that I have asked here is which product have the highest premium and why? So first of all, we have to understand what are the types of life insurance product. So life insurance product would be term, whole life, endowment, and in endowment also, like there is a confusion. And by when we say endowment, we mean the endowment which is kind of combination of term and pure endowment. Nobody sells pure endowment product these days. So when you are saying endowment, it means that it will also give a death benefit. Pure endowment does not give death benefit, right? So whenever I'll refer to endowment in today's presentation or today's video, just consider that I am referring to the normal endowment, like which provides death benefit. And also there is after endowment, so endowment, and then we a type of product which is offered in the Indian sector, which is not part of the actual books, which we call money back. Once again, it can be considered type of endowment only. And herein lies another question: is annuity a life product or a pension product? So annuity is definitely a life product. Annuity is not a pension product. In fact, pension is management of fund. Pension is not a product. You manage the fund. That is the kind of work for a pension. And pension can be in different structure, like there can be defined benefit scheme and defined contribution scheme. So but the main structure of pension is managing of a fund. So there is some portion that will be deducted from the salary, and your pension structure would be to provide for benefits. It might be some health benefits, only benefit that will be provided when you reach a certain age, or benefit that will be provided if you die. So there can be a number of structure in a pension product, but the way the pension product is mainly managed is the management of the fund. And there are different ways you can kind of distribute the benefit. For example, for retirement age, you can provide the benefit using a, so you have a fund, that fund say has 10 lakh rupees, and you want to distribute the product, then you need to purchase an annuity product from a life insurer, and use that annuity product to kind of distribute the benefit to the people. So normally that's how pension product operates. They will purchase a group annuity product and use the group annuity product to distribute the benefit. So annuity product is not a pension product. Annuity product is a hardcore life product. And how we can classify probably a product would be depending on the type of risk is covered. Annuity covers longevity risk, a term covers mortality risk, whole life covers mortality risk, right? Endowment covers mortality risk. So all this covers mortality risk. That's why these are life insurance product. Annuity also cover longevity risk, which is the reverse of mortality risk. That's why it's a annuity. That's why it's a life product, right? But the fund of that is accumulated through the pension structure, that can be distributed through annuity. However, that does not make annuity a pension product, right? Difference between with profit and okay. So we have skipped the main question, which is which product has highest premium. Now, when we consider the premium portion, so it has to be divided into two categories. First is risk, because the higher your risk, right, higher will be the premium. So there is a common saying, no risk, no reward, right? So higher is the risk, higher would be the premium. And then after that, if two products have similar risk structure, then the discounting or the term of the product comes into picture. So obviously term would have the lowest premium, because term only covers the mortality risk as compared to say a whole life, which also covers the mortality risk, and there is also a saving benefit that is given. So in term product, you will only pay when someone dies, right? But in whole life product, you have to pay because it is for the whole life. It's either you pay when the person, like, because it is for the entire life. So I mean, you will pay the product when in US you have to pay the product, right? And same goes for endowment. Either you pay within the time period when the person dies, or you pay after the time period as a maturity benefit. So as compared to term, whole life and endowment covers more, you know, more risk, and that's why term is supposed to have the lowest premium, and endowment and whole life is supposed to have the highest premium. Now the confusion arises between these two products. Which product out of whole life and endowment has the highest product, has the highest premium? And also suppose our endowment product is of 30 years, and there is another endowment product which is of 40 years. So which product would have highest premium, or which product would be having the? So we'll first deal with the endowment question. So if there are two endowment products, that means the risk is same, right? Because endowment products covers the same risk. It has the saving benefit that it has to provide, and also it has to provide that benefit. So these are it's providing two types of benefit, and same goes for a endowment product with 40 years duration. Because the risk is same, and considering the person that they are selling to, they are kind of equivalent, same type of person, right? Like although both the person are age 30 years or say 40 years, same age, right? There is no change in the mortality or any other specs there. So then the time amount of time the premium will be discounted will matter, because the risk is same, right? So for a 40-year term endowment product, assuming everything else is same, the sum assured is same, the person that they are offered to, that is same. So that would mean that the discounting would happen more for a 40-year product as compared to a product which is a 30-year product, same endowment, but discounting will happen only for 30 years. So in that case, this would mean that for the product which is for higher duration, like 40 years, they would have lower premium, because the discounting is a reverse effect, right? Discounting happens in the denominator, so that would mean the premium would be lower. So for a 40-year endowment product, the premium would be lower, and for a 30-year endowment product, the premium would be higher as compared to a 40-year product. And between whole life and endowment, which product will have higher which product will have higher premium? Because both the product once again has to provide the mortality benefit and the saving benefit, like that benefit has to be paid, right? Unlike term product where you do not have to pay the benefit if the person do not dies within the term, but in this case you have to pay the benefit, right? So in this when we have to pay the benefit, so that means the whole life and endowment is kind of covering the same same structure or same sort of risk. But in this case, whole life would have lower premium. The reason is same, because of discounting, because the risk is same, right? So then when the risk is same, we'll move to the discounting part. And normally in whole life, because the term itself suggests, the name itself suggests it's whole life, right? But the premium is not collected for the entire life. The premium is collected for a certain duration. Maybe it might be 30 years, 40 years. It's called limited premium paying term, right? Something called LPPT, or limited premium paying term. So your whole life product might cover you up to 99 years of age. That's the case in India. It will cover you up to 99 years, right? But you may have to pay the premium only till 50 years or 60 years, right? So suppose you take out a whole life product at 30 years of age, the entire whole life product would, I mean, that the payment you have to make for say up to next 20 years, from 20 to 30 to 60, and after that you don't have to pay the premium. So the entire premium would be kind of like if you considering the entire the whole life product would be for 99 years, right? The term is for 19 years. So the entire premium that would have been collected otherwise, that would have been clubbed within this 20 years. So and normally an endowment product, the duration of an endowment product would be much lesser, like maybe 10 years or 15 years, right? 20 years duration, rarely there will be endowment product. There can be an endowment product, but there is rarely. So it depends on the duration in this case. So for a same structure, for same sum assured, and for same person, if a person purchases whole life product, because usually the term of payment of the premium for whole life would be much higher as compared to endowment, then that would mean the whole life would have lower premium as compared to a endowment, right? So overall, the structure of this answer would be risk. First you will attack the risk. So this, I think, most of the people in the interview can can relate to the risk part. However, the discounting part is not very intuitive to them. So you have to understand the next portion, which is with the discounting. So if the risks are similar, then you move on to the discounting. And in discounting, you have to see which product premium is getting discounted more. And that product would have lower premium. So in this case, the order would be term, which would be the least, then there would be whole life, and then there would be endowment, right? So difference between with profit and without profit, I think it's very clear. These are the these are not the types, these are the nature of the product of life insurance. And with profit product, I think you have to pay the like the policyholder participate in the benefit, in the profit of the insurance company, or also the loss of the insurance company. And the profit can be anything. It might be in investment profit, it might be mortality profit, lapse profit. It depends, it has to be defined, right? There are regimes, or there are countries where only investment profit is given, and over a period of time the investment profit share would be much higher as compared to mortality profit or lapse profit. That's the nature, because this is a saving product. That's the nature of this product. As soon as the more the time, the investment profit grow in time. That's the time value of money, right? But in without profit, the policyholder do not participate in the profit, so the entire risk lies with the insurer, right? So with profit, without profit product is more risky product as compared to with profit product. And I've already covered like why. There is a video on my channel, you can go and search for this video, that for with profit product, the regulation says that 90% of the profit has to be given to the policyholder over a period of time, right? So 90% of the profit has to be given to the policyholder. The question is why an insurer should sell such product, because the insurer is working so hard to kind of generate that profit. Why you would share that 90%, more than like not even 50%, 90% of the profit would be shared with the policyholder? There is a clear reason for that, and I've already kind of given the answer in a video, so I'll not touch that here. But I think it's very clear, the policyholder participate in the profit. That is why it is called with profit or participating product. And in without profit, the policyholder do not participate in the profit. The advantage for insurer for without profit is because they take more risk. So the profit, the entire profit, 100% of the profit belong to the insurer or the shareholder. But in with profit, only 10% of the profit belong to the insurer or the shareholder. Types of bonuses. Once again, types of bonus, as I mentioned in my last video, I have a like people have a tendency to mention compound, super compound, simple. These are not the types of bonus. Those are the method of calculation. The types of bonus is reversionary bonus or regular bonus, and terminal bonus. These are the two main types of bonus. There might be other bonus like cash bonus, special reversionary bonus, etc., etc. These are the types. But it's not simple compound and super compounding. That's the method of calculation. Regular bonus is something that is kind of given every year, and terminal bonus, by the very name, it suggests that it is given at the end of the time period, right? So moving on, I have already answered the next question. Is annuity a life product or a pension product? Annuity is a life product, right? I think I have seen 99% of the people, especially who come from Mercer or Avon, the pension background, basically they give wrong answer to this question. For them, annuity is a pension product. That's not the case. Okay, moving on. So question on reserve: what is retrospective reserve and prospective reserve? IBNR, ALR, DLR, difference between ALR and DLR, right? So prospective reserve is something when we look in the front, like today, 31st December 2022, if we are considering the cash flows of 31st December 2023 and 24 and 25 and onwards, and then discount it, that will give us the prospective reserve. Prospective means looking at the future. Retrospective means looking behind. So today is 31st December 2022. We are taking the value of 31st December 2021, and then cash flows of 31st December 2020 and cash flows of 31st December 2020. So that would mean that we require all the values, all the policies, because those are actual numbers, right? At 31st December 2022, we already have those cash flows. So we need to maintain good level of data to have the retrospective reserves, or to calculate the retrospective reserve, which is usually not the case, right? In industry, we follow the prospective methodology because it's much easier and to calculate, and also it's based on assumptions. You can change your assumptions based on how our expectation of future is. So prospective and retrospective reserve, I think the definition is clear. IBNR. So IBNR means incurred but not reported. Now suppose a person dies, and the relatives of that person do not know that that person has a insurance policy, and maybe 2 months down the line, that person, the relatives understood that there is a insurance policy, and they can make the claim. So then that claim happens. So every quarter, the appointed actuary is kind of responsible for keeping some percentage of its reserve as IBNR, because those would be late reported claims. Not all the claims that happen in a particular quarter will be claimed in that quarter. or not all the deaths that happen in a particular quarter for a company will be claimed in that quarter, especially in a COVID type of situation where the number of such claims can be massive. And it might take people some time to understand that there is a life insurance policy or there is a health policy, and this is how you can claim. So that's why there might be some time lag, and that's why these are called incurred but not reported. So already the claim has happened, but the claim is not reported. So we need to keep some additional reserve in order to kind of cater to those. Otherwise, like the normal reserve that we keep, that might not be sufficient, because for us the policy might be in lab state, or the policy we might not expect any claim from that policy, but we have to kind of pay the claim, right? So then there is ALR and DLR. So these are health related reserve. ALR means active life reserve, and DLR means disabled life reserve. So ALR is just like a prospective reserve. Like for health policy, if you calculate the prospective reserve, like it will calculate from 31st December 2022, if you discount the cash flows for the future years, so then what you will get is called the ALR. What is DLR is, so I'll go into much deeper in DLR. I'll make a separate video on DLR. But for DLR happens when the person get disabled. Like for a health policy, there is a disability benefit. If you get somehow you are working in an factory, and something you for some reason there is an accident and you become paralyzed, say for 6 months. So in that case, you can claim the benefit. And when you claim the benefit, you are in disabled state. You are not in active state or active life state. So for health policies, so for the difference between life policies and the and health policies is, because health policy and the reason why health policies are slightly more complex than life policies is because in life policies, when the decrement happen, when the contingent event happens, like death, then it goes off the books, right? But when the death happens, then that means you have to pay the claim. There is no need to keep any reserve. But when the for a health policy, when the contingent event happens, like in this case disability, when it happens, then you have to kind of keep the reserve. You have to keep different types of reserve. Once again, there are IBNR and IBNER, and there are multiple types of reserves that we have to kind of keep for the DLR portion. Then the ALR would not be required, because you need to plan, like what is the type of disability, will the person recover, will the person never recover, right? So you need to plan for the type of disability. It's very difficult to say what is the type of or nature of disability. A person might lose one leg, and that means that the claim has to be paid, and there is no chance for the person for recovery. Or the person might have a broken leg, and that might be recovered in, say, 2 months or 3 months, right? Or the person may not never fully recover. The person will work, but may not be able to work in the same capacity as the person was able to before the accident. So that's why there are different types of reserves that is required when the person move into disabled state. And that's why for health product, the product does not cease to happen or cease to exist when uh, there is a contingent event, unlike the life insurance case. So in life insurance case, death happens, reserve is, the policy goes off the books, and the reserve is released. In health insurance, the contingent event happens, disability happens, the person might come back, so there might be still need to keep both ALR and DLR. The person might never come back, or the person might never get recovered, then the ALR would be released and only DLR would be kept, right? And it has to be revised every a year, depending on the type of disability, whether disability will get worsen, or the disability will reduce, right? So that's why, and DLR is a complex subject, so I'll make a separate video on that. And I think I've already explained what is ALR and DLR. Can these two be equal? When I'm saying that can these two be equal, I mean prospective and retrospective reserve. Yes, they can be equal if the bases are equal, like the mortality, lapse, expense. These are the basis. These are the assumptions, basically assumption set. If the assumptions are equal for prospective and retrospective reserves, both this would be equal. But in retrospective reserve case, it is not actually assumption. We know the result, like, because we are already sitting at a place where we know what has happened in the previous time, right? So those are not assumptions. Technically, those are not assumptions. Those are actual result. Like the mortality rate represent the actual mortality rate. But in case of prospective reserve, it represent assumptions, right? We don't know if these are expected values. So if both these rate are equal, then the prospective and retrospective reserve can be equal, right? What happens when mortality increases? So this question is for, say, a term product or a whole life or endowment. So when mortality increases, then that would mean we have to go back to the question or the formula for the prospective reserve, right? And this question is usually asked for prospective reserve, not for retrospective reserve. So because in industry we keep the prospective reserve, there is retrospective reserve is not generally used in the industry. So there is separate way to use the retrospective reserve. Maybe that is asset share. Retrospective reserve and asset share are kind of very similar concepts. We will not touch the asset share today. Asset share is a concept, that is the definition of asset share is already kind of given in my YouTube channel. You can search for it. But also we'll cover that as part 2 of this, the answer series. So so when the mortality increases, if we consider the formula for the prospective reserve, it would mean that expected present value of benefit plus expected present value of expense plus expected present value of minus expected present value of premium, right? Now, many people has a tendency to say when mortality increases, expected present value of the benefit will increase. The benefit will not increase because the benefit will stay the same, right? Your sum assured is, is 10 lakh, unless it is a different type of product, unless it is an increasing sum assured product or something like that. So otherwise, the sum assured will stay the same. So the value of benefit will not change. What will change would be the assurance factor. Now, if you remember the formula from this, like if you break down the formula, it would be the benefit amount into the assurance factor, right? And then expense would be expense amount into the annuity factor. Same goes for premium. Premium into the annuity factor. That's usually the formula. It might also be a single premium product. There might be only be initial expense, right? So in that case, the expense would not be there. It will be zero, right? But in this case, the assurance, the benefit would be multiplied with assurance factor. Now, assurance factor, if you go see the the actual table, you will see as and when the mortality increases or as and when the age increases means the mortality increases, you will see the assurance factor will increase. But for annuity, it will decrease, right? So what will happen in this case when the mortality increases? The expected present value of benefit will increase because the assurance factor increases, but the expected present value of expense will decrease, right? Because the annuity factor decreases, and the negative term, which is the expected present value of premium, right, that also decreases because the annuity factor decreases. So one term, which is the annuity, which is the expected present value of benefit, that is increasing, and that is positive, right? That is contributing to the reserve. The other term is also other term is not, the annuity factor, although it is it is a positive term, it is not increasing, but it's it's slightly although it is not increasing, but it's still a positive term, so it still contribute to the increase of reserve on an overall basis. So the assurance factor increases, the expected present value of benefit increases if you increase the mortality as compared to the previous state when the mortality is not increased or the mortality is normal. The expected present value of expense, that decreases very slightly, but that decreases, right? But overall, these two contribute to the reserve being positive. So this out of this two, the benefit expected present value of benefit, because that number would be multiplied with sum assured, which will be much more, right? So that would show a higher change. Like the expense would be probably 100 rupees, 200 rupees, 300 rupees, something like that, right? But the benefit would be 10 lakh or 15 lakh, and it is multiplied with a much higher number. So even if the annuity and assurance factor change by the same same degree, but still the difference would be much higher for the expected present value of benefit as compared to the difference, which is the reduction in the expected present value of expense. So that would mean this two positive factor, if we consider both of this jointly, then this would increase, right? But the expected present value of premium, which is the negative term, which is only responsible for reducing the reserve, that is again decreasing because premium is getting multiplied by annuity. So that would mean that when you increase the mortality, the reserve would increase, right? So that's the mathematical justification of what happens when mortality increases. Is kind of intuitive to say, when mortality increases, reserve would increase, right? But why that happens is because of this reason: assurance factor, annuity factor. Assurance factor increases when mortality increases, annuity factor decreases when mortality increases, and the numbers they are multiplied with, that also play a role in creating the degree of change, right? And finally, can reserve decrease when mortality increases? Yes, reserve can decrease, and that happens for annuity product. And if your previous answer was that annuity is not a life product, you can never guess this answer. Although I have interviewed a couple of people and they have said pure endowment. So same goes for pure endowment as well, because these are survival product, right? So in that case, the benefit amount for annuity product or for pure endowment, they are not multiplied by the assurance factor, right? They are multiplied for annuity product. They are getting multiplied by what? Annuity factor, right? So because of that, the when the mortality increases, the reserve decreases, right? Because the risk is also reverse as compared, like term product you pay when person dies, but in annuity product you want the person to die, because then we'll stop paying the premium, stop paying the benefit, right? That is to the advantage of the insurer. So that's why in annuity product or pure endowment product, when you increase the mortality, the reserve decreases, and annuity is a life product. That's why we are giving this answer. But if we consider other product, which are the traditional, the life insurance product, there the annuity will not increase. And finally, unit reserve and non-unit reserve, and how is non-unit reserve similar to prospective reserves? So for unit reserve and non-unit reserve, I think I need to create a separate video, like how unit reserve and non-unit reserve is calculated, but very short, in very like in a very short amount of detail, I can say that unit reserve is actually the unit fund. Whatever the customer can see, that is the unit fund. The unit fund is called unit reserve because it is paid to the policyholder. It's a liability for the company. Nothing in the unit fund belongs to the insurer. That's why it's a liability for the company. It belongs entirely to the policyholder, and that is why unit fund is equal to unit reserve. Whatever the fund is a liability for the insurer. That's why it's called unit reserve. And now, how non-unit reserve is calculated? Non-unit reserve is calculated by taking the charges from the unit fund, and then any expenses that has been incurred, that would be deducted, and any death benefit that is given over and above the unit fund, that is also deducted, right? So if we consider the previous example of prospective reserve, where it was expected present value of benefit plus expected present value of expense minus expected present value of premium. In this case, non-unit reserve can be said as expected present value of that death benefit which is over and above the unit reserve, right? So there is one value of expected present value of benefit. Other value is expected present value of expense, so that anyways is getting deducted from the non-unit fund, so that is there. And expected present value of, instead of premium, that will be charges, right? So in that way, if you calculate the non-unit reserve using the prospective reserve formula, and there is also a section I don't know if that section is present now, but when I appeared for CT5, there was a section in the book which clearly calls this out, that the prospective reserve formula can be also used to calculate the non-unit reserve. But when non-unit reserve is part of prudent financial management, and every time a unit link policy did not have non-unit reserve. So when unit link policy require non-unit reserve is something that we'll discuss in a separate video, and I have a plan for creating a video like that. But I mean, I wanted to finish the interview series first, and then we'll move to that. But it will be an interesting video, and then something I saw that people who have, like, I recently couple of months back, I interviewed a person, and although that person got selected, but I asked about the non-unit reserve, and she was clueless about non-unit reserve, like when non-unit reserve is calculated, although she has very good marks in CT5 or CM1, I think. So this is something that people do not remember or have a tendency to forget. Right. So these are the concepts that we use in life insurance on day in and day out basis, and you should be very thorough with those concepts. Moving on. So if we okay, the next portion would be of asset share, and from this portion we'll be creating our next video, or next next video on next video would be on the asset side and asset share, right? Convexity, duration, and asset share. So asset share also is portion of the insurance part only, but this is because of this term asset, and because it will be slightly different concept, something which is related to the saving component of the insurance product and not the protection component. So we'll consider it later. And also I'll like to go to the answers. So I think Ashtu and Krabby Juice, I don't know if this is the real name, but so we'll just go through the comment. And first of all, a big round of applause for Ashtu and Krabby for writing the answer. Out of all these people, like, I think there are around 126 126 views on this video. Out of 126 videos or views, only 2% has the courage and the guts to write write the answer, irrespective of caring, like writing long answers would take time, or what others would think, what would happen if the answers are incorrect, right? They did not care about that. For that, it's a like it's a big appreciation from my side, and I deeply respect that. These are the type of person who irrespective of their talent, or whatever they have written here, I've not seen the answer, but irrespective of this, whatever at what level they are in, these are the persons who would be doing very well in future, because they have the they have that what can I say, that the ability to ignore what others think about them, and they can concentrate on probably learning, right? And that's what will take them forward. So I'll just go through the answer very quickly and see if the answers are very similar to what I've said in this video. So endowment plans have the highest premium because they provide maximum benefit, right? So once again, you will see that the answer is focused on the benefit or the risk part, but the discounting portion is not considered. So same, like if I ask a counter question, like for a same endowment product, what would happen if the term is for 30 years, 40 years, which product will have higher premium? Then probably Ashton might struggle. So I don't know, but he might. So if you have that discounting angle also in mind, then nobody can put you in any trouble. The main difference between with and without profit is the company shares a part of the profits. I think this is very well written. I think bonus of two types, terminal bonus paid once, right, when the policy gets matured, and reversionary bonus not only when the policy gets matured, if the policy, like the person dies, if the person surrenders, also then also whenever the policy terminates, right, the terminal bonus is paid. And reversionary bonus or renewal bonus, it's not renewal bonus, it's called regular bonus, but in any case is paid as a percentage of sum assured or other fixed benefits. I think that is correct. Annuity is clearly a pension product. Okay, so this is not correct. This answer is not correct. Annuity is not a pension product. I have already given the detail, right? Okay, Ashtu has also mentioned the point 6 and 7. Retrospective and prospective reserve can be equal in case of the reserving basis. Right. Once again, this is a correct answer. In case of life insurance policy, I think the reserve would increase in case the mortality increases, because in that case the death would lead to insurer. So I think I have already given the mathematical justification for that. And reserve can decrease when the mortality increases in case of annuity product, right? So he has already mentioned that, but he in this case he has not considered annuity to be a life product. So that might be a contradiction that he wanted to think upon, right? But I think these are very well written. Congratulations, Ashtu. And I think you also deserve a Blue Dragon, T-shirt. So I'll reach out to everyone. I'm just waiting for 500 subscribers, but I'll reach out to everyone who has answered this question, who have commented, right? And I'll send them a Blue Dragon T-shirt. Hopefully, you'll be able to wear them, and yeah, that would give you some source of some sort of achievement or pride some way. Moving on, Krabby Juice endowment end. Okay, this endowment would have the highest, and equal to pure plus term. Usually, term would be the lowest. Okay, so he also has mentioned about the risk part, but not about the discounting part, which something that I think both of them would learn from this video. PH participate in the profit of the company so long as the guaranteed benefit. There should be discretionary benefit depending on the surplus. Ideally, only investment surplus should be shared. This is not the case. In any surplus might be shared. It depends on the in the company regime or country regime, etc. It's not that only the investment surplus should be shared. That should be written in the policy document, whether which surplus should be shared. Mortality surplus can also be shared, or life surplus can also be shared. It's not that the investment surplus will be shared, but over period of time, as I mentioned, investment surplus will be the highest surplus. So other would be very minimal. So it will it's almost equal. It will be like 100 would be investment surplus, and 0.5 and 0.5 would be mortality and lapse. So it is almost equivalent of saying that the investment surplus will be shared, but that's not the case. Reversion in terminal special one-off interim. So I think he has answered this question very well. And fun question, I've never given thought. The risk covered by the company's annuity products is longevity risk. So longevity risk is a life insurance risk, is a life product, but probably it's a pension product. Can you explain the comment if possible? So I think I have already explained that. So he's right. Annuity is a life product, right? That's why it is taught in CT5. It's a life insurance paper. Annuity is a life product, but yeah, the benefit of the pension product can be distributed through an annuity product. So I think now if the the what I can say, the pigeon is out of the cat. Everyone out of the hat. Everyone now knows the answer for this question. This is one question that everyone in Sun Life who interviews kind of ask this question, whether or not, especially if you are from pension background. And as I mentioned, 99.99% of people do not know the answer to this question. So because of the tendency to think of the benefit structure, they kind of give the answer. You have to always think about a product from the risk angle, and as I mentioned, then the discounting angle, right? So if you think from that angle, like he was thinking, right, then like annuity product is considering the longevity risk, so then you will you will come with the right classification. So I think I'll end this video here. So I hope it will be helpful and it will give you a clear set of structure. So I'll also expect people who have not written the answer, maybe for the asset share or the duration convexity. These are the questions that you should have learned by now, and these are the questions you should be able to write the answer, right? But if you have not written the answer to this question, then I don't know what is stopping you from writing the answer. And if you are embarrassed that something would be wrong, I don't think that will be the case. We are especially, I am not here to make fun of you. I will deeply appreciate if something you are writing something here, irrespective of that is that being wrong or right, because you are making that effort and that will make you separate from the herd. So that's why people like them would go go the distance. And people who are thinking about why should I write that, it will be a long comment, I have to read that, I have to, or probably open my books, etc., etc. Because of that, that because of that attitude, you'll always stay behind, or you'll always be an average person. So I'll insist that if you know the answer, and you should write the answer, and do not worry about what others will think, right? If you know the answer, write the answer, help others, and in turn one day you will also be helped. So I think, yeah, that's enough of the the GAN. I think we can close this video. So if you like the contents of this channel, please please share this video with your friends who are maybe starting the actual career, or who are thinking of starting the actual career, who have started the actual career, etc. Somehow some person might not be getting the jobs, etc., etc. So I think this video will help them. If you are seeing this video for the first time, you can subscribe to my channel. This is my channel name, Blue Dragon Actual. And yeah, as hit the bell icon, and see you in future videos.